Insights Daily Current Affairs plus PIB Summary, 4th May 2020. Table of Contents. GS Paper 2, New COVID-19 Symptoms, Bharat Market, Bay of Bengal Boundary Layer Experiment, Bobble, Non-Aligned Movement Submit. GS Paper 3, Magnetosphere. Topics covered: Issues related to health, New COVID-19 symptoms. Context: alongside common symptoms, a new study has talked about unexplained skin manifestation in COVID-19 patients. Researchers have described 5 clinical patterns, including the so-called COVID toe, that they observed in 19% of the cases examined. In a new study, researchers were able to describe 5 major clinical patterns: asymmetrical pseudo-chilblain lesions affecting the hands and feet. Over 19% of the cases showed such a manifestation. 9% of the cases presented with vesicular eruptions on the trunk and the limbs. 19% presented with urticarial lesions, which can be characterized by itchy, swollen patches of different sizes of the skin. 47% presented with maculopapular rashes, which comprises flat skin lesions and raised bumps. 6% of the cases presented with livido or necrosis, which is characterized by the discoloration of the skin and may be caused due to disturbance in blood flow and reduced oxygen tension into the skin. What are COVID toe and chilblains? It is a kind of rash being reported as a manifestation in some COVID-19 patients' toes. The researchers were likened it to pseudochilblain lesions. Chilblains are small, itchy, red patches that appear on the toes and fingers after a person has been exposed to the cold. A person with chilblains may see their toes and fingers swell up and become red. The condition occurs due to inflammation in the small blood vessels in the skin, a response to repeated exposure to cold air. Chilblains usually clear up within 1 to 3 weeks on their own. Topics covered: important aspect of governance, transparency and accountability, e-governance applications, models, successes, limitations and potential. Bharat Market. Context: Traders Body Confederation of All India Traders CAIT will soon launch a national e-commerce marketplace, Bharat Market, for all retail traders in collaboration with several technology partners. About Bharat Market. The marketplace will integrate capabilities of various technologies companies to provide end-to-end services in the logistics and supply chains from manufacturers to end consumers, including deliveries at home. The e-commerce portal will include a nationwide participation by retailers. This endeavor aims to bring 95% of retail traders on board the platform, who will be the shareholders, and the portal will run exclusively by the traders. Topics covered: bilateral, regional and global groupings and agreements involving India and or affecting India's interest. Bay of Bengal Boundary Layer Experiment or Bobble. Context: a team from Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru and UK-based University of East Anglia have created a blueprint for accurate prediction of monsoon, tropical cyclone and other weather-related forecasts under the Bay of Bengal Boundary Layer Experiment or Bobble. About Bobble: Bobble is a joint India-UK project. It seeks to examine the impact of ocean processes in the Bay of Bengal on the monsoon system. It is a project funded by Union Ministry of Earth Sciences and the Natural Environment Research Council of UK. The Bay of Bengal plays a fundamental role in controlling the weather system like make up the South Asian summer monsoon system. Key processes in the southern bob, the saline southwest monsoon current, a major control on the salt and SST distribution of the bob is shown to be controlled by both local wind stress curl and remote equilateral wave propagation factors, strongly linked to sub-season variability over the wider Indian Ocean basin. The high salinity core HSC of the MNC is shown to have its origin in the western equatorial Indian Ocean, reaching the Bob via the Somali Current, the Equatorial Undercurrent, and SMC. Seasonal reversals that occur at the Somali Current and SMC junctions act as railroad switches, diverting water masses to different basins in the northern Indian Ocean. Barrier layer formation and erosion in the southern bob are found to be largely controlled by differential advection and resulting mixing driven by shear stress. Chlorophyll in the southern bob is strongly influenced by mixed layer processes and barrier layer strength. What are monsoons? Monsoons are season winds which reverse their direction with the change of season. The monsoon is a double system of season winds. They flow from sea to land during the summer and from land to sea during the winter. Monsoons are peculiar to Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, parts of Central Western Africa, etc. Indian monsoons are convection cells on a very large scale. They are periodic or secondary winds with seasonal reversal on in wind direction. Monsoons are also often associated with conditions like El Nino, Spanish for little boy, that occurs every 2 to 7 years, and La Nina. Significance for India. Monsoon is the lifeline of Indian economy as two-thirds of it depends on farm income and rain is the only source of irrigation. For over 40% of the country's cropped area, over 70% of India's annual rainfall occurs in July to September monsoon season. A good monsoon increases crop productivity, raises farm income, and drives the economy, while a weak monsoon inflates food prices and harms the economy. Topics covered: bilateral, regional, and global groupings and agreements involving India or affecting India's interests. Non-aligned movement summit. Context: Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in a video conference meeting of Non-Alignment Movement NAM on COVID crisis. Significance: this is the first time PM Modi is taking part in a NAM meeting since taking 2014 when he first became the Prime Minister. The last time any Indian PM participated at Tehran NAM meet was 2012 with the then PM Manmohan Singh was present. Both in 2016 and 2018 summits of NAM, India was represented at vice president level. The last NAM summit happened in 2019 in Azerbaijan. Before that, it was 2016 in Venezuela. Background: Azerbaijan is the president of grouping from 2019 to 2022 and the meet is being organized under the leadership of President Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev. The title of the summit is We Stand Together Against COVID-19. What is non-aligned movement? Non-aligned movement is an idea that emerged in 1950. NAM is the second largest platform globally in terms of country membership after the UN. The currently has more than 120 members. The evolution of NAM. During 1950s, the world was emerging out of the long dark period of colonialism. Newly independent nations dreamed they could make their way in this new world without hewing to either of the big powers, the United States and the Soviet Union, eschewing the icy hostilities of the Cold War and bask in the warmth of Third War, as it was then known, cooperation. The co-founders were India's Jawaharlal Nehru, Indonesia's Sukarno, Egypt's Jamal Abdel Nasser, Yugoslavia's Joseph Broz Tito, and Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah were all figures of international consequences, and their collective charisma attracted their lesser lights from around the world. The Asian African Conference of 1955, held in Bandung, was the catalyst for the establishment of non-aligned movement. The actual formation took place in Belgrade, where a non-aligned movement was formally established by the leaders of 25 developing countries in 1961. Why is it losing relevance today? Criticisms. NAM today has grown into a forum where developing nations could blame all their problems on the big powers. It has become a platform for some of the world's most despicable leaders to preen and posture. NAM's reason to exist ended in 1989 with the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. The world was left with a single superpower, the US, but quickly became multipolar, with China and India emerging as strong magnetic force in their own right. Way ahead, there are now new kinds of alignments, more likely to be defined by economics and geography than by ideology. To be aligned is now a virtue, a sign of good leadership. Countries, especially small ones, can and should aim for multiple alignments of their interest. There is now no country in the world that can claim to be non aligned. GS Paper 3, topics covered: Awareness in Space, Magnetosphere. Context: scientists in the Indian Institute of Geomagnetism (IIG) have developed a generalized one-dimensional fluid simulation code capable of studying a wide spectrum of coherent electric field structures in near-Earth plasma environment or Earth's magnetosphere, which can be useful in planning of future space missions. The study will help to plan the future space missions. The study will also lead to controlled fusion experiments to fulfill ever-expanding energy demands of humanity. About magnetosphere, it is a region around a planet dominated by the planet's magnetic field. Other planets in our solar system have magnetospheres, but Earth has the strongest one of all the rocky planets. Significance: the magnetosphere shields our home planet from solar and cosmic particle radiation as well as erosion of the atmosphere by the solar wind, the constant flow of charged particles streaming off the sun. How it is generated: Earth's magnetosphere is part of dynamic interconnected system that responds to solar, planetary and interstellar conditions. It is generally by the conventional motion of charged, molten iron far below the surface in Earth's outer core. Constant bombardment by the solar wind compresses the sun-facing side of our magnetic field. The sun-facing side or day side extends a distance of about 6 to 10 times the radius of the Earth. The side of magnetosphere facing away from the sun, the night side, stretches out into an immense magneto tail which fluctuates in length and can measure hundreds of Earth radii for past the moon's orbit as 60 Earth radii. Why study magnetosphere? To better understand its role in our space environment, it will unravel the fundamental physics of space, which is dominated by complex electromagnetic interactions unlike what we experience day to day on Earth. By studying this space environment close to home, we can better understand the nature of space throughout the universe. Additionally, Space weather within the magnetosphere, where many of our spacecraft reside, can sometimes have adverse effect on space technology as well as communications systems. Better understanding of the science of the magnetosphere helps improve our space weather models. Key terms: